5 things you can grab as you're walking out of your house. It is the end of the world.
Shoes.
You're going to grab shoes.
The bow. A handle of whiskey.
Are we going to count shoes as one, or were you being facetious?
No, because I don't want any other clothes.
You just want
Wind
shoes?
drag. I don't need it.
Shoes
High speed,
only.
low drag.
High speed.
It's August.
Just shoes. Shoes and a bow.
Yep. Let's go with
Does bow count arrows though if they're in the quiver?
I'm going to give that as one item.
Give it
Bow
as
and
one.
arrow
yeah.
is one item.
Let's see. Baseball hat. Just clothes. This is the most boring
I feel
guy.
like- I feel like-
but they got to be in the house.
I feel like Brandon's going to die.
Are we not gonna have clothes
Sub
on?
1 week. That's my thing, right?
And then,
These are your 5 things. You get to pick them.
Continue.
and then a gallon of milk for anyone that knows me. There you go.
That's 4 items.
2 gallons of milk.
2 gallons of milk. Brandon is dead in a day.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Like cool.
Yeah.
Have fun. I'm gonna have to say bow and arrows
Okay.
for sure. I'm gonna assume I'm clothed.
You are clothed.
And usually wearing a ball cap.
Yeah.
So we're gonna write that off. A water bladder.
Okay.
My steri pen.
Okay.
And a knife, a fixed blade knife.
Good one.
And a tarp.
And a tarp. Okay. I feel like you've survived at least. You're gonna get 40 days in, 30 or 40 days at least.
Thanks.
Yeah. Jordan.
So I would do my bow.
That Primus album.
My it'd be my bow, my hunting pack, because I already keep that thing
Stocked.
pretty much stocked with most of the items.
That doesn't
Yeah.
count, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. See.
How does that not count? That's how it is at my house. That's why I'd grab it.
I don't know.
All right, fine. My hunting pack because I need to carry stuff around. Water of some sort. Then
Water of some sort.
Yeah, like bottled water, water bladder, whatever
Okay.
I have laying around.
I got you.
Then since it doesn't count, I would have a knife, and then I would probably grab my boots, my hiking boots.
Your hiking boots. Okay. Okay.
I wish I added watch onto my list now. This seems important.
I
You
wouldn't
can't go
care
back.
That time.
You're already dead.
Oh, no, the day.
You
Okay.
died. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Covered in milk.
You
Yeah.
instead
You
chose
developed a lactose
2 gallons
intolerance.
of milk.
Drown myself.
You've developed a lactose intolerance, and you've dehydrated yourself by shitting.
I feel like you were probably not a strong test taker, Brandon. Pressure came on and you broke.
Milk.
How many times did you answer milk in high school on a test, a math test? What's this? What's the right angle of the triangle? Milk. I'm gonna get a bow, an arrow, right? I'm gonna bring a pot to boil water in. I'm going to bring a lighter, some rope, and a tarp. And I'll kill one of you motherfuckers and take everything else.
Aggressive? Good. It's going to be a good evening.
All right, so Jade, we have Jade Helmich from the Full Draw Film Tour. So Jade, what are you bringing? 5 items.
All right, you guys are on the right track. I'm definitely bow and arrows. I'm going to go boots because my feet are pretty soft and I don't want to be slowed down.
I get you.
I like the knife, although I do carry a everyday carry in my pocket, so I might have to switch that one out. I already had it. A good pack. I was thinking it was empty, though. I wasn't gonna
Yeah, you weren't going to.
Otherwise, I just need one thing. A pack. And I want some kind of fire starter.
Agreed.
So then I'll find a pot and boil water.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'll trade out the knife for a camera, huh? So So when everyone comes back around, we can show them all the crazy shit that
Yeah, you're
happens.
like, hey, check this out. I saw this on the road to death.
Yeah.
So you are from Full Draw Film Tour. Well, I guess you would probably. I think I'm going to give you a solid 2 months.
All right.
You know, you'll get through this.
All right, sweet.
So you are you started Full Draw Film Tour. Kind of what's your
Well,
story from there?
yeah, I actually didn't start it.
Okay.
Kind of a short and dirty history. There's been a few different ownerships throughout the start of it. I took it over in season 7. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But it's been a good whirlwind here. I've been kind of a freelance filmmaker before that, and a fish biologist before that. So now I'm running the show, and yeah, I guess people don't know what the Full Draw Film Tour is. If you are familiar with any film tours, it's similar to fly fishing film tour or the skiing one. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Warren Miller. He started that a long time ago, where they travel around putting on ski and snowboarding films now. So, but we've grown quite a bit to be the bow hunting version of that. This year we're hosting over 52 shows nationally that we actually tour to. There's 9 independent filmmakers that have a film in our show, and we do a big gear giveaway with our national partners at our shows. And yeah, we also have an affiliate program where nonprofits such as Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, which you guys are all with, they
Yep.
can host their own show. So
Yeah, we that's where we actually came across the Full Draw Film Tour the first time. Because I was on Facebook and somebody was like, "Hey, this thing's going on," and I was like, I'm gonna go buy some tickets and go to this thing.
yeah, it's fun, and yeah, it's kind of how I found it. Honestly, the real story is my buddies and I were kind of wanting to start our own little filmmaking group. And the first thing you do, of course, is try to come up with a name. It's probably the last thing you should do, but
Yeah.
we're like, let's call it Full Draw Films or something. And so I started Googling that and was like, oh, someone already has Full Draw Film Tour, dang it.
Like most things, it's already
Yeah.
been done, right?
Yeah, so then I was like, checked it out. I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Let's check it out. And then I submitted a film a couple years later and started helping the tour with the previous owners, and it found its way into my lap a couple years ago and took it and run.
Well, it is a lot of fun if no one's ever been. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
It is cool.
Yeah, for sure. I pride myself on it being a good time. It's more of an event than going to the movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're into bow hunting or hunting in general or curious about it, I think it's something that would help you become more interested in archery, hunting, and
Yeah.
backcountry in general.
I definitely think the camaraderie at those shows is half the appeal to me, right? I love the bow hunting videos, but
Yep.
just getting to go and hang out with a bunch of people who are super like-minded, and like you said, there's gear giveaways, but just every Full Draw I've gone to, and I've gone to a couple of them with BHA Texas here, and there's always a great conversation to be had with somebody about something new. We talked to that guy down in San Antonio last year about elk hunting.
Yep.
You know, we've talked to, Sean from Tailwaters for a long time. It's where we met Cameron. You know, without Full Draw, we wouldn't even have Cameron. He's not here tonight, but he's in Montana, and
He's here in our
Yeah.
hearts.
he's always here in our hearts. So,
Yeah, the camaraderie. I mean, there's several events that do similar things, so it's just good time to reconnect with friends or buddies you're always around. You get another reason to go have a cold one and talk about your fall plans or whatever, you know.
exactly. I mean, I think at one of our events, we've got like 2 or 3 bows that are being raffled off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, there's a lot of good stuff that's going to be happening if you are in the San Antonio, Bernie area on May 25th.
Yep.
It's gonna be
Memorial
fun.
Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. Couple weeks.
It's amazing. It's every single time I turn around, I'm like, oh, good God! It's
We have things going on right now.
yeah, it's again full time. I'm sure it's for you. It's got to be a nonstop process for you, right?
Yeah,
Just-
it's been a crazy spring. I actually just came off the first week of shows. We premiered in Mount Vernon, Washington on May 8th, and had 4 shows back to back. So, a couple nights off here, and then hit the road again tomorrow night for just kind of never ends. But
This is your hunting season, huh?
it's a season. Luckily, being in charge, I gotta run the schedule, so things open up right about September 1. So
Yeah, conveniently, huh?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't plan that at all, but
It's good to be in charge, huh?
Exactly.
yeah. The hardest part is watching the show over and over and not being like, oh, can I go already?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it 3 times last year, and I feel you. I was just,
Yeah.
people get excited about that one where the guy misses that giant freaking bull, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just like, oh yeah, I'm watching these guys in 10. I'm like, well, get ready, it's gonna suck. And then the one that that got
Buckle up.
eaten by the coyotes, that sucked.
Yep.
That was a freaking monster elk.
For sure.
Um,
I
So-
watched the preview for this year's, and it looks pretty good.
it looks great.
Yeah, we've got an awesome lineup, honestly. Every year it's hard to say, it just keeps getting better and better, but I think this year the overall lineup is kind of tops them all. It's pretty great. There's pretty heavy on elk, kind of been the full draw mantra is heavy on the elk. It's hard not to like an awesome archery hunt, screaming bulls.
Lots of action.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple whitetail films actually, and some moose and some other things in there. But it's
I like moose.
Yeah.
The bow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's pretty good film. Honestly, there's some good storylines. We got women, and yeah, it's hard not to get excited about. The fall, and then on the filmmaking side, it's kind of how I got into the industry, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
But I've always been, I'm submitted and filmed off and on here and there, but gets me excited to try to put together my own submission for the future too.
So as far as that goes, if we wanted to be in full draw, what would be obviously we'd need to film a hunt, but
Yeah.
what are kind of some of the things you look for in making a choice of why a film would make the cut versus one that would maybe?
Yeah, it's a kind of a few things, that come together to make a good film. And it can be anything that makes a film stand out, but I have a panel that ultimately votes on them. And it seems like anything with a strong storyline, something that just keeps the viewer's attention. Obviously, big animals and lots of them is cool, but story that people can connect with, and if it's funny, it's really good. I love it when the theater just is cracking up. And then you have, storylines that connect with your heart. People overcoming stuff, or just conservation aspect of some trips. Or something new but a storyline is important. And of course, good camera work is good to have, but that's pretty secondary, I think, really. Lots of people, that's the other first question is, what camera do I buy? And it's like, well, you probably have a camera right now that you can make a film with in your pocket.
Yep.
But yeah, it's strong storylines, good camera work, and if you want to get technical on camera stuff, good audio is important when it comes to the big screen and stuff like that. But yeah, and lots of the films have had kills, and people always think you have to have a kill to make a film, but there's a story probably that more people can relate to by going home without notching the tag, you know?
Exactly. That's most of my experience in the woods is coming home empty-handed.
Right.
How many submissions do you get every year? Does it grow?
Yeah, it's growing. I think this year we are close to 40 submissions from all over, you know. And there's like kind of your YouTubers that want to try to get into the tour, and then kind of everywhere in between. From the newbies, I got people that made their first film, you know, and submit it to. Then we have TV personalities that are submitting films also. So
I don't know, and I should, but is there a minimum and maximum length?
There's no minimum, but I put in the requirements like around 15 minutes for a maximum. Well, of course, if something's just badass and it could be a sustained film for 20 minutes or something, we can make something special work there. But I think the kind of the wheelhouse, it seems to me, is a good 12, 15 minutes. Tell a story and keep audience's attention, you know.
Absolutely.
Do y'all have any? Excuse me. Do y'all have any other criterias, like for the actual hunt itself? Obviously archery, but like any other weird criterias for the hunt itself?
For the hunt itself is mostly just archery. We don't really like to have, it's not really, you know, it's kind of open to just archery related, and you know, it doesn't even have to be a hunt. I'm still waiting for someone to just make a cool film about archery sport itself, you know.
Or bow fishing.
Yeah, no.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
I think I talked to some guys about something like that, actually. Like, you know, you could have a pretty cool, hyped up video, like almost just a music video about whacking some carp.
Or big gar here in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a backcountry gar.
The story of the SS Leaky Creek becoming a bow fishing. It's in every man's story.
Every poor man's story.
It's every poor man's story. It's we have a 14-foot John boat that has been named
talking about
the SS Leaky Creek because she leaks pretty good.
Yeah, everyone can relate to that.
Yep.
We put her into some sketchy situations.
Yep.
There you go. There's a storyline right there.
If we would have filmed that
that day.
A
quick question before we kind of move on. You were talking about get roughly 40 submissions. Obviously, you're going to watch all of them. What's the we already kind of touched on, but what's the first big cut? Is it quality?
The first big cut is just requirements. I guess some other not being viewed on other like events or YouTube or television. Gotcha. There's some people just don't read rules sometimes and submit something and it's got 10,000 views on YouTube or something, you know.
Sure.
So I'll get those weeded out, and then you can just start trimming it down from there. I mean, there's obvious ones that not hunting or not bow hunting related or something. Just kind of. I wish we could accept films that aren't, but it's kind of our niche, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're the full draw film tour.
Yeah.
My name is Abe. Here's my film about me going to Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, you hunted there? No, I just went to
I
Europe.
just went to Europe. It was awesome. Backpacking trip across Europe.
Right.
I didn't even backpack. I just wore a backpack.
Did you even read the rules?
Well, so are you guys going to do some filming or what?
We try to film a lot. We just
do.
Either forget to turn on the camera when it's go time, or we don't kill anything, or the camera's on the whole time, or we forget batteries or memory cards. Like, we're awful at this.
I know for sure we're filming the elk hunt that we're going on this year. And that's my brother and I, so we'll do that. And
I'll probably try to do mule deer. It looks like I make it by myself.
Yeah. Solo mule deer, Texas public land mule deer. Awesome.
Nice.
You're gonna have to take your bow.
I'll watch a lot of Joe Robinette.
You're gonna have to take your bow.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll film it, but not for full draw. Hunting those canyons. I'll take the 400-yard shot.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll, and maybe some bow fishing stuff.
Yeah.
That for sure. It's about that time for that. So.
Yeah.
We absolutely will be doing some filming. So, over the course of time for you being there, do you have a couple films that kind of just stand out in your mind that are just like, man, just no way I'm ever going to forget that one?
Definitely. There's the fan favorites every year. Part of the show at the end is, of course, fans get a vote for their favorite film. Since I've been kind of part of the tour, everyone's familiar with Gritty Bowman.
Oh, yeah.
Their first film in the film tour was a great story with Anthony Spencer, one of the original parts of Gritty Bowman's father, and just the characters that were in that story, as well as the father-son relationship, was pretty awesome. And then, let's see, the next year, Born and Raised Outdoors, of course, that was some of the original owners. Cody and the crew from Born and Raised had always a great submission, but one year the intro, they shows 15 to 20 bulls getting whacked in montage of awesome clips, and that was a great film.
Yeah.
Then in the recent couple years, there was a cool storyline about a wildfire, and it had killed several deer, and then the hunters, hardworking hunter, Zach Kenner, a friend of mine now, he and his father ended up shooting 2 bucks that were badly burnt.
Yep, I remember that one.
I remember that one. That one
was
hit
good.
hard,
Yeah.
man. That was a good
Year before
one.
last.
Yep, that was solid.
Yeah.
Last year there was several good films. That ended up being the fan favorite last year was guys from Outback Outdoors, who I actually used to film for when I was freelancing. Good friends, but they had a cool story, and it was a lot of humor. Those guys, part of what they are is humor, camaraderie on the hunt. And it was actually a part 2 to a mule deer hunt in Nebraska. That was the fan favorite last year. And then, there was some, another one, Pure Elevation, boys out of Idaho. Tyler Crockett ends up shooting 2 bulls within 5 minutes of each other here in Idaho, so you can have 2 tags. And that was, you guys probably saw that one as well.
That was a good one.
I'm sure they died right next to the truck, and he was so ecstatic about
Yeah.
full days of us packing out.
Yeah,
Pay someone to pack your horses at that point.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Nope. Get on the inReach. Call somebody.
Yeah, definitely. This year there's some good films in there as well that we'll be talking about for a couple of years. But I won't give any secrets away there. You got to come to the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So, just kind of what is, so those were some of kind of the best. We'll talk about some of the worst, and you can leave names out, obviously, but what are some of those ones that you just shook your head at the end of and you're like, what in the world?
There's not any.
No?
You're not going to be off that easy.
No, you have to give enough.
I can't imagine you get 40-plus videos every single year.
Gotta be
that-
one that's just
that
garbage.
you're just like, what in the hell?
Submission-wise, there's definitely some. Let me try to think. One of them was about waterfowl hunting. Like a music video of waterfowling with a shotgun.
Somebody submitted that.
They submitted to you?
Yeah, it was a shotgun waterfowl hunt. Yeah.
Did they do good?
Did they actually shoot any doves?
Did they limit?
I don't think I got that far in.
What is this?
He saw
There
the
was
hatch.
some-
He's like, mm-mm.
There were some birds hitting the water, I guess. There's in that stuff that sometimes you just don't like and there's no specific ones that I'm thinking of, but
Sure.
stuff that paints a bad light for our sport,
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff that would turn people off pretty quickly. And it's mostly like ethics of the hunt or
I took this 8,000-yard shot. I
yeah,
missed.
yeah, exactly.
It
blew its
Wo-
jaw
Some
off.
blew its jaw off. That kind of crap.
wounded stuff, yeah, just
Ugh.
stuff you don't want to see, and it's hard to watch. And yeah, we eliminate those pretty quickly as well.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine that would be something that I feel like I would not even submit that to you. If I filmed a deer that I wounded pretty badly,
Hit delete.
and just be like, no, this doesn't ever. No one sees this. I'm gonna watch it a couple times to figure out what I did wrong.
And you tell your buddies the regretful story,
Yeah.
and you eat it and do the best you can to respect it. But you don't take pride in wounding this thing.
Jade, I got one for you.
And then they make fun of you from then on out.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
crazy.
Yep, people don't. I mean, I guess some people's views or ethics are just different, and they don't balk at it. But yeah, I think the masses are on par with what we're thinking.
Yeah, and that's a place to tread lightly because you get some newer hunters, and especially you see a lot of wives and stuff coming to these things, and you get a video up there that's questionable ethics or painting an animal suffering. That's a bad look.
Yeah,
For
sure.
non-hunters. I mean, we've all had made mistakes and had things happen that weren't expected, but painting the sport as a whole in the best light possible in front of these people is obviously key.
Got to.
Definitely. Yeah. For sure.
So, what kind of hunting do you like to do when you're not doing full draw film tour?
Shotgun with the waterfowl. No, no, I enjoy it all, but obviously archery is what I've grown to love. And archery elk hunting is kind of the pinnacle for my year, but I'll do all species here in the West. Big hunt that I'm looking forward to this year. It'll only be my second time officially doing it as a high country mule deer velvet hunt.
Ooh.
I'm like the idea of spot and stalking a little, and we're gonna do one of those, my buddy and I, and then we'll jump into some elk stuff, and then we'd like to do late season whitetail stuff here in the West as well. And other than that, I mean, I'm holding out. Everyone wants to draw some of those trophy once in a lifetime type hunts, sheep and moose and goat and whatnot. So, like waiting for the lottery though.
But so most your hunting is ungulates. You don't do any waterfowl, any bird hunting.
I will not.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. We have good upland bird, chucker and grouse and stuff that I'll get out a few times a year. Waterfowl that I've been a handful of times in my life. I enjoyed it, but don't have a ton of great hunting around here for it, or
Gotcha.
my time is spent other things that time of year, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're over here like, if you're not hunting pigs and dove all the time,
Yeah,
I don't know
we
what you're
still
doing.
hunt a couple weekends a month right now because we have so many pigs down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, it's kind of one of those things that everyone talks about. Well, the reason we're hunting them is to get rid of them, but if they're gone, then you'd be bummed.
Yeah, that's a big discussion and it comes up a lot in a lot of podcasts. It seems if you had the magic wand to wave them and rid the quote air quotes problem that pigs are, and that's not belittling the fact, but would you wave it?
Yeah, most people say no.
Exactly. It's like, well, I understand it's really bad for farmers, but I'm not a farmer. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and they say the same thing for bow fishers, carp.
Carp,
I started off going, I just hate carp. And then now you think about it and you're like, man, this is so much fun. Like, I wouldn't want to get rid of carp because you can go out any time of the year. There's no limit on them. There's no, There's no rules, really. You got to have a
Yeah.
hunting license. That's it down here.
Yeah.
And you can shoot as many pigs as you want, and you can shoot as many carp as you want.
Yeah.
That's a
Uh-huh.
great night.
For sure.
And you can hunt them at night, actually.
And I want to try to catch one on the fly, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know specifically with those two, but I mean, my biology background and fisheries and stuff, there could have been something. I mean, I'm trying to think fish-wise and pig-wise that those replaced, might have displaced maybe a few deer. I don't know. What, do you guys know of anything that, well, I guess you could bow fish for gar. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gar, delicious.
We're on that mission right now. Multiple of us have never eaten gar, and a lot of people say you can. It's good. And this, I mean, we're starting to see a lot of them as the water warms up down here. So I've got the bug to go snag some gar.
I've been tying gar flies left and right.
Yeah. Well, on that good eating part, that's why the carp were brought here, because they were like a prize fish in Europe.
Yeah, in Europe, that's like a delicacy. They love those things.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't ate one yet, but one of these days maybe.
We have a buddy that's been cooking them.
I was just about to say he pickled some recently and had posted some pictures of him eating it with like an onion on a cracker. I'm not against it. I'll try anything twice.
Yeah.
We'll
I've
see.
I've heard as long as you get rid of the bones. One of my biologist teachers in school has talked about deep frying them long enough to dissolve the bones, or like pressure cooking it or something, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard the pressure
cooker.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But
What was your best take last year?
My best take?
Yeah, what'd you put on the ground? What was the best thing you put on the ground?
I only put one thing on the ground, but
What was the best then?
well, I shot a bull and we worked hard for it, a bull elk. But the best part, my wife she also had a tag, and kind of the best hunt was when she got a 5x6.
Oh, that's
nice.
Yeah, she didn't grow up hunting, and I got her into the archery sport, and then she eventually was like, well, I'll try it. And this was her third year giving it a shot, and never has killed anything in her life. Like, I don't even know if she killed a mouse in a trap.
She put down a 5x6. That's awesome.
Her first kill of anything was a 5x6 bull.
She's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was like,
what
ahead.
are y'all hunting with? Are y'all a compound or trap
Yeah.
bow, or where are you at on that whole
Discussion.
I like it all. We were hunting with compounds, but I have a recurve that I want to start shooting and hunting with some point, but I need to put a few more down before I'm going to go to that. Not that it can't be as efficient. South Cox, one of our filmmakers this year, proves that year after year that he gets it done. But yeah, I would love to start hunting with a stick bow one of these days.
That's crazy to me. I feel like I'm just now competent, and that's at the bottom level of competent with a compound. And I mean, in Texas, there's not, we don't take very long shots. And even for whitetail sitting in stands, it's 30 yards, 40 yards, baby. Yeah. So.
Well, you got all that game-rich environment with the pigs. Get out there and swinging some.
Start.
Exactly. That's summer practice.
Right.
So those bulls y'all put down. We talk a lot about cooking on here. We like to cook.
Yeah.
What was the best thing you've made out of it?
Best thing. So let's see. We haven't done anything too crazy with them yet this year. Well, I did do a neck roast, like lopped off one of my bull was tough 3/4 of a mile pack downhill, So we're like, let's pack some bones out and lop the neck off, and so bone-in roast. That was good. Although one of the kind of new things that we started doing is the shank, asabuco, however you pronounce it.
Yep.
Have it, and we might be actually doing something fun on Full Draw Social this week on the road. We might do some.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm never gonna trim meat off the shanks of a deer or an elk. Well,
Nope.
Again, you get so much more meat and it's way easier and
Yep.
one of the best pieces. Like instead of giving like guests to making my back strap, I think something like that would be cool to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing how like we all grew up, taking seeing people leave necks in the field and all kinds of stuff like that. And nowadays, like I don't know if I would ever.
I ask people
necks
for
have-
it. You don't want it? Give it to me.
That's
Yeah.
one of my wife's favorite pieces of deer.
Yep.
She's like, let's cook the neck roast. Get at it.
Yeah.
Mhm. How about you guys? What are some new stuff that you're dabbling with?
Man, all over the place.
I'm on a big tamale kick right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, making tamales. So Jordan and I were talking about this, making some squirrel tamales.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
I still want to do the banh mi again.
Yeah.
Yeah, squirrel banh mi was really good.
I took it and took some basically quartered out squirrels and confit them in olive oil in a sous vide for like 24 hours. Then pulled all the bone out and then made sriracha mayo and pickled some daikon and some carrots and we made squirrel banh mi and it was awesome.
It was really good.
That's cool.
Um,
Yeah,
Right.
We've started dabbling in dry aging in the last year or so.
Yep.
I've got a Nilgai hindquarter that's a month in now. So that's kind of cool.
heck yeah. Have you guys cured any hams or anything?
Not
I
yet.
haven't done that. That's definitely something I'd like to try.
I've done some curing like pastrami and stuff.
Yep.
That kind of
Uh-huh.
curing, but not down that road yet.
Right now in the refrigerator, I have a whole front quarter sitting in a brine. Been injecting it every day. and
Whitetail?
Whitetail. Gonna smoke that.
Heck yeah.
I hope it turns out good. This will be my first one, so this will be the tester to see what I need to do better next time.
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to turn out great.
Oh, it's going to be eatable.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried any call fat stuff?
We tried.
Yeah.
I had some in the freezer. I don't know
Really-
how well it saves.
It's
I threw
really
it away
tough
the other
here
day.
because we went November, end of November, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a week before Thanksgiving, we went out and it was still so hot that we couldn't even get the deer out of the field, hung up, all the stuff taken out, and that call fat before it was just.
Yeah,
We were like,
the call fat had already gotten weird. I mean, it was 85 degrees.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That would be tough. And I do think it's something you can't really keep in the freezer, maybe.
And that's
Yeah.
I kept it just to see, and then did some more readings, looked at it, and was like, I don't think so. I just kind of
Have
threw
you-
it away.
Another thing that my buddy and I are along like the shanks and bones. Have you noticed that like marrow doesn't stay very good in the freezer?
We haven't really dabbled in that yet. Texas whitetail are pretty small.
That's true.
to give that a try,
doing
though.
shank, you can do a whole shank, but doing like ossobuco to cut it to cut the shank down and do ossobuco, we haven't dabbled in. I've got a couple big shanks off of Neil Guy saved specifically for that, and I think we'll dabble with then. So I don't know. Have you noticed that? Do you think the marrow gets weird?
Yeah, we did a shank and an elk shank the year after. Like it was so basically a full year. We were processing an elk and cooking a shank at the same time from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
The shank was great, the meat, but the marrow, which we were excited to try, it tasted a little off. Like I would say, gamey.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So we're still learning on that. But
That's one of those things. I think that's a tricky deal you got to get it right.
yeah, exactly.
And it could be. I've never messed with wild game marrow. I've cooked a lot of beef bones. So I don't know. I mean, that flavor probably differs animal to animal. I don't know.
And
Do you think it was something like that, or you think it was the freezer?
I think
Hard
it
to
might
say.
have just might not keep as well in the freezer. We had a friend that is a BHA guy too, and he said that or when we were talking about marrow and bones in the freezer, that he's like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it might be something to do sooner than later.
Make
Yeah.
yourself a good soup stock and get
Yeah.
after it.
Or cut it
Yeah.
into burger grind, man. Bone marrow burgers are cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Well, do you do much fishing at all, or are you just kind of a?
I try to.
Well, you're a fish biologist, so right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know a little bit about them, huh?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd like to get out and fish more and all the time, but I like fishing for smallmouth a lot. I live kind of in the mecca for steelhead. Haven't got out a ton. It's kind of those things when it's hot here, I'm in the Elkwoods. Chinook salmon's one we really like, and it's kind of, I call myself a fair weather fisherman, so it's nice out and I'm fishing for really tasty fish. I'll go more often than.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we have sturgeon here, and I live near Hell's Canyon, and you can catch and release sturgeon in there. Like, I mean,
Dinosaur fish.
7.5 to 10 foot long,
Have you hooked one before?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Right.
I wouldn't even know what it would feel like to hook a 7-foot fish.
Dude, it's kind of one of those things, like your first trip or first fish you hook into, people make you fight it the whole time by yourself.
Oh my god.
Like,
Do they fight pretty hard?
oh yeah, like it can be hours, and sometimes then you're in the current of the river as well.
Yeah.
They can,
So you're dragging a muscly log through the current.
well, and that's the thing. Like once they're done fighting, it's still hard to move them in the water.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a 400-pound log.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So when you see these pictures of these guys with these big sturgeon, and they're in the water with them, and they're just kind of sitting there, how hard is it to? I mean, are they just worn out by that point, and so they're not moving, or?
Yeah, they're pretty wore out. I mean, it's been an hour plus probably fight for the fish. And once you turn them like upside down, they're kind of docile, and you jump in the water with a bunch of people and take pictures. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Giant fish.
they're old though. As a fisheries guy, you don't want to hurt the fish and
Sure.
stuff. People just can't take them out of the water and stuff. So
Yeah.
Wow.
not that it would be easy to take a 10-foot,
Sure.
Yeah.
500
Without gaffing
With
it.
that, gaff or a crane.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Still,
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
can
want to have
imagine.
to gaff, just like deadlift a 10-foot fish.
Yeah.
I've caught tuna offshore, and they fight pretty well, but they're nowhere near that big.
Yeah, saltwater fish are another level though too. Like, well, historically, sturgeon they do go to the salt,
Yeah.
and some lower in the system still go out to the ocean. But yeah, no, and bow fishing. I haven't done enough of that. I would love to as well. So, and I do think there's a film in that story.
Yeah, I've already been sitting here thinking about our
Yeah,
2020 full draw film tour submission from the Stormwater Creek crew for longnose gar,
yep.
alligator gar. Shoot one of those
Yeah.
giant suckers.
Alligators, you got a limit. One a day.
In May.
Oh, really?
Is it only in May? I thought it was year round.
Is it now?
I thought. I could be wrong.
I know they passed a law, and it May. You're not allowed to shoot them at all, and then one a day every other day. I think is what the new
Something
law
like
is.
that.
It's a lot. Still a lot.
Crappie's 25 a day.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Right.
So, what are kind of some of the highlighted trips coming up? I mean, obviously we've got full draw in San Antonio coming up on May 25th. We've also got it coming up in Houston as well here in Texas. But what are some other kind of favorite trips that are going to be around, and where can somebody find out about purchasing tickets if they're not in the Dallas, if they're not in the Texas area?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can find all your tickets in schedule at fulldrawfilmtour.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagrams where we're most active, and stuff will link it to our ticket sources there. Some cool trips though. Well, we have a great one like this week, loading up as soon as we're done talking to head to Southern Idaho and Utah. Big shows in Salt Lake City, and our biggest show of the year is in Boise, Idaho. Get 600 people in a theater. They're all excited about the bow hunting. But yeah, we're heading clear. Texas is the one kind of letting you guys rule the roost there. In the future we might do something though, kind of co-host BHA or something. But
we'd love to have you guys come down here.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But we're heading to California and Arizona, and then starts just reeling off for Montana and Colorado, and then we head east, clear to Pennsylvania, and clear down to Florida and back.
So out of all those places y'all guys are hitting, do you have a favorite?
There's several favorites. Boise, I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, kind of from the area, so it's a favorite. It's a cool venue.
Hometown.
Yeah, not hometown, but home state.
Yeah.
Lots of friends. I'm here in Lewiston, Idaho, so we have a local show. It's kind of fun to do. The Denver show is cool because it's on a gigantic screen, and then the sound system's amazing too. Other cool venues, Missoula, Montana, with the Wilma is pretty awesome. And then we have small shows we do in like archery shops and stuff, kind of similar to what you guys are putting on in Texas. So
yeah,
Sure.
It's always fun there. I know that they're doing a 100-yard shot challenge at, I think, both Bernie and Houston. Houston's June 22nd, and San Antonio's May 25th. And there's a ton of great gifts and food and drinks, and it's going to be a good time, man.
It's always a good time.
Oh yeah, it is. Just like you said, get out with some like-minded people, talk about hunting, and it's just a bonus to see some films and maybe win something.
Absolutely.
For sure. So, one thing that I've kind of been thinking about, me and Abe have had this discussion before, and you were talking earlier about, you have a phone that can shoot your videos and all that pretty much as good as anything. But if someone really wanted to start really filming and get, put more than just a toe in the water to try it out, and wanted to get some stuff out, what's a good entry-level camera and some gear that you would recommend for someone that wants to start filming pretty exclusively?
I'd recommend a DSLR of some type or a mirrorless system now. Sony, pretty much all the brands make them, but I'm running Sony's now. And
I've heard
you can
Sony's
get
pretty good nowadays.
Yeah, an entry level, like one of their 6300 or for like $1,000, and then you can invest some money in a few lenses. The nice thing about them is filming and taking great photos. It's kind of a dual purpose, and then you just have to invest in a shotgun mic and Rode Video Mic Pro. You get one for like a couple $100, get your good audio, and yeah, you could be up and running. And then if you get online, eBay, Craigslist, whatever, find similar stuff used. You could be under 1,000 or closer to 500.
Oh wow,
So
that's not too bad.
See, that's,
I
no,
think spending that on a GoPro now. I think.
yeah.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's what we were kind of talking about, me and Abe, whether or not,
We need
it's
a
worth
boat
it or
motor
not.
before we talk about this anymore.
Oh, right, for sure. No, for sure.
The SS Lincoln Creek's struggling at the moment, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, you can have a $5,000 camera that you might be kicking around on the paddle
Exactly.
on the oars.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have
We
a
have really nice oars.
We have a trolling motor.
That's all you need.
Exactly. Trolling motor will get a job done. Now we have a fleet of batteries that get us to and from where we need to go, but you know,
It's pretty rigged.
it's pretty magical actually. So
Yeah, you guys are just writing your script. You need a submission with a boat and some alligator gar.
Oh, we're gonna brainstorm after this.
oh yeah, there's
Don't
no
you
doubt.
worry.
I thought that was the point of the call. Was like, what are we gonna do?
To figure out the in.
Yeah, to get the in with Jade. You
Yeah,
know?
there you go. Yeah.
So the in is if you're an aspiring filmmaker, shoot a duck hunting video with your cell phone with a shotgun.
Out of a leaky 14-foot John boat.
And right at the end, you just shoot a bow.
Exactly. You shoot a bow just to keep Jade's attention, and then you start shooting ducks with a shotgun.
There you go.
You know what we're doing.
That's
Cool.
funny.
For sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it, just on the camera aspect, learn how to use it in manual, and understand the basics of photography and film, which can all be found on YouTube University.
That's a wormhole that I've lived in for a while, just like focal points, f stops, and all kinds of crazy things that you're just kind of like, holy crap, how did anybody ever learn this?
Yep,
You know?
exactly.
But it really just about making a picture look good, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can develop those skills, but the stuff you need to film is what builds the story. Stuff like camp or how you got there and the camaraderie with your buddies giving each other shit about why didn't you charge the battery to this boat?
Exactly.
Been there.
Been there.
That was actually a time.
I think
Yeah.
that's too the kind of probably one of the harder things to do. I think, like you said, with YouTube University and with just how easy some of these cameras have gotten to shoot on and how very simple you could be up and running. I think the story aspect and kind of the content, right? It's like, hey, we filmed ourselves going hunting, and it's like awesome, but there's no story, there's nothing conveyed. I mean, it's cool for the person filming it and who's maybe the person who's taking part in the hunt, but for an outsider looking in, they're kind of like, there needs to be some more depth here, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Is narration a pretty commonly used aspect of whenever people are putting these together, kind of narrating over what's happening, or do you see a lot of just in the moment they're just talking into the video camera, then they shut up and hunt, and that seems to be
Yeah.
popular?
No, it's definitely a mix of both. The films, I will say, that do better have more either the natural kind of commentary that you're talking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Kind of a rule of filmmaking is to be able, the next shot should lead the viewer down the story. So, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't need to be there. But voiceover does work, narration, that's a lot of it in our films. The stuff from TV, we call it spying interviews, where someone's sitting in front of the camera in your studio type setting, doesn't translate real great to films.
Yeah.
Not that we have them in the film tour and they do fine, but it seems more like a TV of the 90s, 2000s thing that.
Yeah, all I can think is Monster Bucks 9, the old real tree stuff where 2-second interview and then it's wow, here's the biggest deer you've ever seen. It's man, these things are easy to kill.
Yeah, right.
I'm catching them all over the place.
Catching deers.
Catching deer.
You guys are ridiculous. One time you say catching
Did you say that?
as a joke, and they just never let it go.
It's been on several of the podcasts. If you go back,
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you catch you a deer?
Catch you a deer, buddy?
I'd love to go catch me a deer.
It's because the reason I get that is because I walk into the office, I have a desk job.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in and be like, hey, did you catch any deer this weekend? I'm like,
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
no, I
Yeah,
didn't
really?
catch any deer.
Release 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We were
release-
joking that before we called you. Well, you don't really hunt and release, so
It's not a real hunt and release type situation for sure. So.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to get the barb out of their side.
Yeah. I've been using a pretty good outsized treble hook, and
get him right in the roof of the mouth.
yeah, you think a sturgeon fights hard?
Hook you a fork buck.
Hook you a 5x6 elk and hold on. Oh my God. Somebody's gonna go do this now. Be like, but I heard it on the podcast.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Film it.
Bow fishing.
Film it. Oh God.
What's the legalities of shooting a duck with a bow fishing rig on the water?
Can't imagine
You
it's
can
legal.
bow hunt
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The ethics of maybe the bow.
I don't think it's.
Well, it should be fine because it'd be a fatal shot.
Maybe.
It should be.
I mean, you see those pictures of birds and shit with arrows sticking out of them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole. We're not
I think I'd call you an asshole if you shot a duck with a bow.
Absolutely.
If
If it's feeding in a pasture, maybe. If it's in the water, how many arrows you burning for this damn duck? Arrows are not cheap.
What if it's the turkey? The turkey
Texas heart shot?
No.
3-inch blades.
The big turkey blades?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That's a wormhole.
I don't think so, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, Tim. Well, Jade, we'll let you go on that, but we appreciate you joining the podcast. Everybody go check out Full Draw Film Tour. It's a very simple Google search. You will find it. Instagram, you said, right? What's your Instagram handle or the
Full Draw Film Tour at Full Draw Film Tour, I guess. Yep, that's where you'll find most of our shenanigans. And yeah, we'd love to have many people come to the show, newbies, bring a non-hunter, expose them to the world we love. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you guys very much. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. Make sure you go check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, I guess Twitter as well, at Stormwater Creek. More importantly, head over to Full Draw and buy your tickets to Full Draw Film Tour if you're in the San Antonio area for May 25th, or if you're in the Houston area, June 22nd. Be really cool to get to hang out with you. Jade, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and we'll chat with you soon. But
all right, guys. Well, take care.